Hello friends! For this activity, you are going to need these cards from the math material area and this recording sheet as well. So what you guys are going to be practicing in this activity is measuring the perimeter of some different figures. And you're going to be recording your measurements in this box chart right here. So on these cards, you're going to see some different examples of ways that we can show figures. So you might see some cards that look like this that are already blocked out for you, and you are just going to remember that perimeter means we're measuring the outside. So with this type of a picture, we don't know what units we have. Like, we don't know if these are inches or centimeters. So you can just call them units, all right? And you are just going to measure the outside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So then in the box that's labeled number 10, you would write 15 and then just units, because we don't really know for sure what exact measurement lengths these are. So you might see some that are like this. You might see some that look different but also are using a model. So this figure is colored in this grid, but you're still going to find the perimeter the same way by counting the outside little measurement units. All right, and then you might see, let me show you this one other model first before I get to that one. Okay, you might see some that look like this. This kind of looks like a geoboard almost, and you can see the little dots that represent the different unit sides we can make. So as you're counting around the outside here, you're still following those tiny little dots, and you're still counting just like if they were squares like this. Okay, so you're still going to count around the outside of the figure because that is what we're measuring, the perimeter. And so you're going to see the models look 3 different ways on these cards. But then you're going to see some figures that look like this, and they don't have the grid or anything on the inside, but they do have the measurement lengths of each side written on the different sides of this figure. So again, you can use the measurements and add them all up to find the perimeter, but some of the sides are not labeled, and this is something that we are practicing during our mini lessons. So you're going to need to use some problem solving to figure out how we find these missing side lengths. So remember that something we can do is use our knowledge of rectangles. So I know that this whole side over here is 7 from the top to the bottom. Well, if I'm looking at a line that's parallel to that, I see this line right here, and this line is part of this line. And if I added this line together with this line, it would create this entire line right here. So I know that if I took 7 and took 3 away, I would find this missing piece. Or you can think about it like 3 plus something is going to equal 7 altogether. So think about how you can think critically to find the missing lengths of the sides that we don't have. You're going to do the same thinking for the bottom of this line. So I look here and I know that this line, if I add it together with this line right here, it's going to be the same length as this bottom line down here. So I've got 3 plus 5 together, that equals 8. So that must mean that this line down here is 8 feet. Then I can add up all of my sides. Remember some of the strategies for adding up all the sides. Maybe try to find 2 numbers that are friendly to make 10. So I notice if I'm adding up these sides, I see 3 feet and 7 feet. I know that makes 10. So I could cross off these 2 and start with 10 and then add the rest of my sides or see what other 10s I could make. Okay, so don't line them all up and add them together in one huge gigantic problem, but keep track. Find some friendly numbers that make nice even tens, or just add 2 at a time and continue adding until you've added all of them up, making sure that we have checked off the ones that we've already added. All right, friends, so you're going to record your answers in this chart below, and there are a few cards that have the same numbers on them, so it's okay if you write 2 different answers in the same number box because some of the cards have the same numbers, but that's okay. All right. Okay, when you are done, make sure that you put these cards back in the bag and return them to the math material area. And please don't write on these cards because we will be using them again for other activities. Okay, thanks everybody and have fun.